are Commissioners Brooks and Matari. Commissioner Duncan is excused. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Chairman's opening remarks. We are doing a couple of public hearings today, but I don't think we need to say anything. I want to poll for conflicts of interest. No. None here. Okay, let's move into our public hearing. The first one is ORA 24-0007, Family and Utility Division of Land. This is an action item, and Director David Callahan.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. This first item is a housekeeping measure, if you will, in that it clarifies that family exemptions can apply both to platted and unplatted property. If you'll recall, we discussed this briefly with you before, so this really just implements what you have suggested to us you would like to have. The other piece we included, just for the sake of efficiency, I've got on the screen right now, is a clarification that it's possible to divide land off to both private and public utilities. Right now, the code obviously only says public utilities. We think it makes common sense to allow for private utilities also, and in fact, we actually had that situation recently where a private utility wanted to be able to utilize this exemption but could not. So that's why it's included.
And Pat Braden, Civil Deputy Prosecutor, just adding to those comments. First of all, on the family division part, it would also allow family divisions within areas of city impact. Because this is an interim ordinance, this would be in effect for one year from the time it's adopted. The public utility / private utility division provision was originally adopted through an emergency ordinance, and that's about to expire. So it was included in this ordinance as an interim ordinance to be in place for at least one more year before we would have to re-adopt it again. Okay. And so that's interim ordinances are currently allowed because we are in the process of updating our comprehensive plan.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments to add to that?
I'm thinking about this. Oh, I didn't talk about, Pat mentioned, but you may recall previously we had a discussion about how the family exemption potentially conflicts with ACI areas. And so that now you see on the screen, this expressly takes it out of the realm of ACIs.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Brooks, any questions? No? Okay. I will go and ask, is there anyone who wants to speak for or against the adopting of this ordinance? Jonathan?
Only staff on Zoom,
Okay. I will take a motion to end testimony, public testimony.
I move that we end public testimony.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, Commissioner Brooks, what do you think?
I don't think it's a big issue of a lot of controversy. I would support it.
Okay, well, I feel the same. So I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve ORA 24-0007 Family and Utility Division of Land.
I second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up is ORA 24-0008. This is ag buildings and group homes. Again, another action item. Director David Callahan, please.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, this is, in my view, another housekeeping measure. If you look on the screen, we've highlighted the first change. The reason we're requesting this amendment is what you see on the screen can never actually occur. It's just basically a mistake in the first writing of this language. Because the reason it can't occur is that it's saying that at the time of application, the building's being assessed as an agricultural building. Well, the whole logic here is we're exempting buildings from a building permit, so the presumption is it's not there. Okay, thank you. The second part of this is completely unrelated to agricultural buildings. It has to do with group homes, and that's the part you see on the screen here. The reason this amendment is necessary is our current regulations, in my view, conflict with federal law, because federal law expressly allows for group homes to be residential. And right now our regulations require a group home to actually meet the IBC, the International Building Code, which is a more involved code and more involved regulations. So this puts things back where they should be, in my view. Pat, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's also to make it compliant with the analogous state law, which is Idaho Code Section 67-6531, which is expressly referenced in this amendment. And because a group home has to meet the criteria that are in that section of Idaho Code, it carves out a fairly narrow exception. Basically, instead of a group home of 5 or fewer people being able to opt into the International Residential Code, it makes it to where a group home of 8 people plus up to 2 staff living in the residence can opt into the International Residential Code, and that maintains compliance with Section 67-6531. And the people living there have to be either elderly or disabled. And disabled includes people that are in recovery from, say, substance abuse issues, as long as they're not actually using. So.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Very last sections on the screen I neglected to mention. We're clarifying what an agricultural building is and how it works.
Yeah, that's in the definition
The
of the
definition.
IRC.
And again, that's really just a housekeeping measure in my view.
Right, and it makes the definition of agricultural building identical between the IBC and the IRC.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Brooks, any questions?
No questions.
No? Anyone in the public who would like to speak for or against this ordinance? Anybody online?
Commissioner, just staff on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Then I will take a motion to end public testimony.
I move that we end public testimony.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. All right, Commissioner Brooks, thoughts?
Again, it's cleaning up of something that needs to be cleaned up. It's not controversial.
I agree. I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve ORA 24-0008, Ag Building and Group Homes.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up are deliberations. The first item is CUP 24-0004, Syringa Heights Water Reservoir. This is an action item, and Vlad Finkel.
Morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Vlad Finkel with Kootenai County Community Development. Staff has prepared a presentation on this matter. What is your pleasure? Would you like to have staff go through it or give a brief synopsis of the request as well as the hearing examiners?
Commissioner Brooks?
I'm sorry.
Are you okay with going through a brief synopsis, or would you like the full presentation?
Oh, no. Do a brief.
Yeah, a brief is sufficient. We have plenty of documentation that we
Okay.
have the opportunity to review beforehand. So.
Understood. So the request is for the expansion of an existing non-conforming facility. The applicants are requesting to improve an existing water system that serves the Syringa Heights neighborhood. Currently, the water system serves 79 residences. The intent is to modify the existing non-conforming use of the site that's located at near the intersection or the interchange of Mullen Train Road and I-90 on a quarter-acre parcel of land from an existing water tower to an additional water tower on site with the improvements to the existing one as well. So once the facility is completely constructed, it will serve as many as 121 residents of that community. The staff solicited comments from various agencies with jurisdiction, and we got support from all the agencies. Here are some of the simulations of what the facility will look like once it's completely constructed. The applicant is also proposing to build landscaping around the towers. Obviously, it's not going to block the view of it, but it's going to provide for some landscaping and aesthetics around the towers once they're fully constructed. As I stated, there were really no comments in opposition of the request. Idaho Department of Water Resources and DEQ are in support of this request. The applicant has all the water rights that are necessary. There may be an additional review of the water rights, but at this time, there were no concerns raised by any of the local agencies with jurisdiction. We only received one comment in opposition of the request. That individual did not attend the hearing, but they submitted a written comment with concerns regarding access, which staff has no control over, and we have no provisions in the code that stipulate specific standard requirements for a conditional use permit of such nature. We believe that this is appropriate, it's beneficial for the community, and we support the applicant's request as long as they comply with the recommendations and requirements of those agencies. The hearing examiner heard this request on September 19th and subsequently submitted a recommendation of approval as well.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Brooks?
No questions.
I don't have any questions, thank you. It's deliberations, your thoughts?
We ought to approve it.
I agree. I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve CUP 24-0004 Syringa Heights Water Reservoir.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up is CUP 23-0015 Flying Arrow Ranch, and Vlad Finkel again.
Commissioners, I will try to be as brief as I can on this. While this is a little bit more complicated and involves a lot more information with regards to what the applicant is requesting. This is a request by Ashley Foundation to establish a privately owned recreational facility called Flying Arrow Ranch. The property is quite large. The applicants own close to 355 acres of land, but they won't want to utilize only a portion of their property north of Highway 97, which is approximately 238 acres and consisting of 3 adjoining parcels of land. The property is located near Moscow Bay and just west of Beauty Bay, with direct access from Highway 97, Albion Road, and other private roads, Aripa and Moscow Bay roads. Here's an overview of the Google overlay. The property has 2 different zoning designations. It has restricted residential on the northern portion of it, close to Coeur d'Alene Lake, and then rural zoning next to Highway 97. It also has 2 different comp plan designations, shoreline and country. And the applicant wants to establish the facility to create outdoor experiences for groups such as Special Olympics, veteran groups, and police and fire groups, among others. The facility will consist of various outdoor uses: open air gazebo, open air pavilion, picnic tables, and other barbecue facilities. There will also be tent campsites, playground, parking area, and hiking trails. And most of the activity will occur on the northern portion of the property. Some of the improvements have already been placed on site, and I will show photos of that as well. But they are proposing like an RV campsite, park style type of development, as well as a large open air pavilion and a gazebo. They will be proposing and constructing parking sufficient with the requirements of building code based on the size of the proposed structures on the property. These are some of the photos of the property in question. It looks like the gazebo and some of the picnic areas have been constructed, and we understand that there has been some use of the site associated with what is being proposed. We have asked the applicants to stop all activities on the property until the board officially approves it. But it looks like this is this is a very nice site for the proposed facility. Through the agency comment period, pretty much all of the agencies were on board. We did get some comments from Department of Environmental Quality that the applicant will have to address with regards to provision of potable and non-potable water. We understand that the applicant is currently working with the state agency to address their concerns. We do have a condition of approval in the staff report that addresses that need to have appropriate review and evaluation by DEQ. The applicant will also need to execute an access easement over a private road, Moscow Bay Road, that is located on an adjoining parcel of land just east of the subject property. The applicant has stated that they believe they have a prescriptive easement over said parcel. However, they did not provide any documentation that would confirm that, and the prescriptive easement is confirmed by a judge in a court of law that they have the prescriptive right to utilize that parcel of land. The applicant understands that, and they have to have that easement executed prior to commencement of any operations on site. The adjoining neighbor has agreed to grant them access easement. In fact, when we went through the public comment period, we received an overwhelming support of this type of facility because A, it's going to be a huge asset to the community, will provide for outdoor recreational activities, and B, it will preserve the site in its natural state without any more intense development such as subdivisions or conditional use permits to construct permanent structures that may be allowed in either a restricted residential or rural zones. We find that the proposal meets the goals and policies of the comprehensive plan as it relates to shoreline designation as well as country designation. We support the applicant's request so long as they comply with the recommendations and requirements of agencies. The hearing examiner heard this request on September 19th of this year and subsequently submitted a recommendation of approval. I stand for any questions that you have at this time for me.
Thank you, Vlad. Commissioner Brooks?
Any, in your opinion, significant negative comments?
I don't believe we received any from public agencies or the community.
The community.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Brooks, thoughts?
I don't see no reason not to approve it.
Yeah, I agree with the conditions set forth in the document. I'll take a motion.
Are we ending deliberations?
Well, we're in deliberations.
No. So I move that we end deliberations.
Well, we need to make a motion for the CUP to approve it.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
You don't have to move to end deliberations.
All right, then I can,
You
No-
you can
no
end
chicken or no
deliberations,
egg.
you can end deliberations by making a motion. to
all
approve
right.
it or
I
not.
move that we approve CUP 23-0015 Flying Arrow Ranch.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up are business. We have no business items. 10:20, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.